We got freedom to gain, we feed them the game. Turn on New Freedom Exchange, we freeing your brain. They trying to shackle your mind, no half of us blind. Remember the past, but never go backwards in time. The ancestors lived through us, they help us build a model community. New Africa is soon to be. So tune in to Sister Marsha, Mujahideen, Man Bilal, to get your cultural enlightenment now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa ta'ala wa barakatuh. Peace and blessings, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a blessed Friday. Jummah Mubarak to everyone. Usually we are going live with the rest of the team on Saturday nights at 7. However, we have started this special edition of New Freedom Exchange in collaboration with HBCU MSA Coalition, which is an initiative that is under our non-for-profit called New Freedom Works Incorporated, an initiative that was started in 2015 to engage HBCU Muslim student associations across the country to help sustain them, to help share resources with them, and to build some sort of relationship and an umbrella of all of us coming together and being with each other. So we are happy to be here with you all and continuing the highlight series of the HBCU MSAs. I am Imam Bilal, as you might know me from our New Freedom Exchange podcast that comes on every Saturday night at 7 o'clock right here on this network. We are streaming simulcasting to New Freedom Exchange on YouTube and on Facebook. Also HBCU MSA Coalition page on Facebook as well, and on the Muslim Journal News YouTube channel. So if you are out there, whoever's out there, please drop your salams in the chat. Let us know where you are tuned in from so we can shout you out. And if you are not subscribed, hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel and also press like on the channel. On the Facebook page, excuse me. So tonight, we did Xavier University of Louisiana last Friday. Alhamdulillah, we was able to greet them. The first installment was Howard University in DC. We was able to greet them and highlight them. And tonight, we have with us Bowie State University in Bowie, Maryland. And so without no further ado, I will bring on Sister Janan Mohammed, the president of Bowie State University, and Brother Ihab Ashkar, the vice president of the Bowie State MSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Well, welcome to the highlight, our weekly highlight show here. It's grateful to have you all on tonight and to spend a few minutes with us talking a little bit about Bowie State and the MSA at Bowie State. But before we get there, let's do a little round robin and get to know each other in the audience, to get to know who you all are. So, of course, your name, we said your position, but your position, your major, your classification, and you one fun fact about yourself.
Okay. Ihab, you want to start or you want me to start?
Sure, I'll start. My name is Ihab Ashkar. I'm the vice president of Bowie State University's Muslim Student Association. I'm a computer science major and I'm in my sophomore year. And a fun fact about me is that I am really into sports.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Janan Mohammed. I am a biology pre-med major and I'm a senior at Bowie State. I'm president of the Muslim Student Association. And a fun fact about me is I like to swim, or I swim.
Alhamdulillah, this is great. Excellent. Those are very great majors and also great hobbies as well, inshallah. So now, tell us a little bit about, for those who may not know about Bowie State, because for whatever reason, it's a suburb, it's not in a big city or whatnot. Could you tell the audience a little bit about Bowie State in general? Like, what is it known for? Because last week we had Xavier on, and Xavier University of Louisiana is known for having graduated a lot of the African American nurses doctors and et cetera coming out of Xavier. So I'm sure Bowie State has something that they're really much known for. So can you share a little bit to the audience of something about Bowie State that we don't know about?
Yeah, sure. So Bowie State, if you didn't know, is the first HBCU in Maryland. And we have a very strong STEM department. I will say that. So Bowie is very heavy on things like computer science and even biology, like mine, nursing, computer technology, those kind of things. So yeah, that's just a little couple things
Yeah,
about
just
us.
to add on to that, I want to piggyback on the computer science part. I believe computer science is the fastest growing major at Bowie State, and there's a lot of students coming into Bowie State University's computer science program.
Alhamdulillah. That is great. I didn't know about the computer science major that's ever growing at Bowie State, so that is great. And I actually was not privy to Bowie being the first HBCU in Maryland, and Maryland has a bunch of HBCUs, so this is great to know historically. So great, alhamdulillah. Now let's shift a little bit into the MSA, the what's really the focus of tonight's conversation, the Muslim Student Association. For you both, when or how did you get introduced to the MSA? How did that come about? How did you guys find out about the MSA at Bowie?
So there actually wasn't an MSA at Bowie. I believe there was like a small one, maybe a long time ago. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Ahab, but it was like 2017 or something like that. And I'm not sure how active it was because we weren't there at the time. But when I got to Bowie, there was no MSA there. So I believe it was my sophomore year, maybe my junior year. I just really was missing that sense of community, and I honestly felt a little bit alone in that. College is kind of hard, and it's really nice to have other Muslim students around you when you're trying to follow your dean and attend a university. So I decided to, like, I guess, kind of start forming it, and I just rallied up a bunch of my friends, and we started specifically during Ramadan, because we were all like struggling during Suhoor and everything. So I rallied up some friends and we started praying together and trying to start forming events and everything. And at this point, we weren't official yet. So we were just kind of moving along, made group chats, made the Instagram, and it was like growing. And then last year in the fall semester, as I was like in the process of trying to get more people like Ehab and the rest of our e-board started joining our MSA. And together we actually were able to get our MSA to be an official organization at the school. And so we became the founding e-board. And since then we've just been growing and growing it. Instagram just hit over 1,000 followers, and we've been able to reach a lot of Muslims and form a very like big community. Yeah.
And just to piggyback on that, my experience with finding the MSA, I was looking for an MSA, and I saw a sister wearing hijab in one of our buildings, and she told that I was looking for an area to pray, and she told me that there's an MSA trying to start up, and I was confused because I didn't know that there was one, and hadn't heard about it because I was a freshman last year, and she told me that we have this room. It was a small room in almost a closet, we called it. It was very tiny. That was our musalla at the time. So I'd taken to that, and then there was about 4 or 5 people, and that was the beginning of the MSA.
Mm-hmm. And it's actually so funny because I remember me and Ehab had a math class together, and I would come into class and I would hound him like, "You're coming to Jummah, right? You're coming on Friday," because I wanted like more people to start showing up, and he did. So,
Alhamdulillah. This is a great story. A very powerful story, since it started during the month of Ramadan. As we know, this is a blessed time, a blessed month to start anything and to do anything that is of good. So alhamdulillah that you all started energizing the Bowie State Muslim community during Ramadan, and seeing the progression of you all up until this point it didn't seem like, when we visited last Ramadan, it didn't seem like it was something that just started. Like I saw like a room full of Muslims, like a lot of Muslims, and a whole decked out space. I mean, for you guys who weren't there, like last Ramadan, Bowie State put on a very nice community-based iftar that was open, and it was really nice. It was decorated. It was really well organized and put together. And you wouldn't have thought that, hey, this is the founding e-board of the MSA that officially is an official organization on campus. It didn't look like that, So alhamdulillah, props to you all for sure for doing that. Just going on that trend. So, did you all find it difficult starting? Like, what were the challenges? Like, people visually see success, but sometimes a lot of times we don't know what's happening in the back end to get to that point of the success. We don't know that story. So, what were some of the challenges? You mentioned a small prayer space. Do you all have a big prayer space now? Like, talk about the challenges of starting the MSA.
Well, to start, I will say one of the biggest things that I'll always say is a challenge is people do not really care about what they don't understand. And we were starting something on a campus filled with individuals who had no idea who we are, what we believe, and what that means for us as students and just people in general on campus. And it also included, they didn't understand what we needed. And so I think the school unintentionally would give us things or would try to help in ways that didn't end up being so helpful. Like, prayer rooms, like we said, being super small. And I don't think they knew if it was going to be enough or not. So when we finally started it back up, the first hurdle was, I guess, getting the school on board and really getting them to see the issues that were like laid out on the floor, plain for everyone to see. It was to get them to see it from our point of view so that we could improve them. So that worked with getting more prayer spaces on campus. So right now we are currently praying in one of the buildings. They let us use this large area in the science building for Jummah prayer every day. It's a really nice area, and this is temporary. We're actually working on getting finalized musalla, alhamdulillah. And even that was a big deal for us because they were not, they weren't really understanding that why we needed a room. Like, they were like, a room just to yourself as a student organization, but it's necessary. So aside from that, I will say a big challenge was also, I guess, maybe getting students to trust us and building those relationships with students, because again, just because even students who are Muslim, this is an organization that had not been there since they had been there. So, you're joining something new with a lot of new faces. We had to get to know each other. We had to build their trust in the MSA and know that we're there for them. We're going to take care of them in the best way we can as Muslim students. And honestly, it was trusting each other too as an e-board, because we definitely had a lot of hurdles with that. But they were not significant to the point where we couldn't get things done. And it took all hands on deck and everybody putting their minds together to get those events that you're referring to started, our event team and everything. Everybody had to work for it.
Yeah, I think it's only fair to give props to our entire e-board and to everyone who shows up to our events, because those events wouldn't have happened if we had those people staying up until 11 o'clock working on making the PowerPoints and getting everything prepared, getting all the supplies ready for the iftars. I think none of that would have happened if it weren't for our e-board and weren't for all the people to come and share and experience these first moments with us, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
No, alhamdulillah, it does take teamwork for sure to run anything and run an organization or run any type of event for sure. And something I would like to ask as well in reference to that is the balance between you all are students as well. So you all are studying, you all are trying to get your degrees and get out of Bowie State and get into whatever fields of interest that everyone has at the MSA. So how do you all find balancing the time between your academics and running the MSA at the same time?
It's really hard. I'm not gonna lie. I think last semester for me, and honestly for all of us, we all sacrificed a lot. We sacrificed studying, we sacrificed assignments, we sacrificed exams, a lot, just to make sure that we could pull things off, because Ramadan is such a crucial time and it's packed with so many things. And we were trying to take care, like we were trying to, have iftars and do Eid celebrations for over 100 students every time. So it was a lot of work for sure. I think honestly that's the best answer I can give. We just had to make sacrifices because that medium, that balance is really hard. It doesn't really exist. I think you have to put some things aside. But I think we all we helped each other. We even sat down together and did homework sometimes. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think having our team, like, since we're such a new MSA, I think everybody has like a certain increase in drive to get something going for this MSA. Everybody else wanted to have something better for maybe the next generation or the next generation. So we're trying to make something good so that the next generation of maybe students who are younger than me or years ahead, maybe the class of 2030, they have an MSA that's established and they can build off of it from our foundation.
Mm-hmm. And that is, they wouldn't have to sacrifice things to, make it run well and smooth and everything.
Alhamdulillah, that's crucial. Transitioning and building something, and then being able to sustain it, and then being able to transition it to the next phase. And let's talk a little bit about that, like in terms of membership and in terms of transitioning the MSA, because you all won't be part of the MSA forever or on the e-board, let's just say forever as students, because you all will be graduating, becoming alumni, and moving into another phase of your life, and the whole alumni adulting spirit then takes in, which we'll talk a little bit about. But in terms of the transition, have you all started to think about planning towards transitioning the Bowie State MSA for when people graduate out of Bowie State and into alumni?
I think
Actually,
alhamdulillah we have. Sorry, you want to go ahead?
no, I was just saying yes. Yeah, go ahead. You can go first.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, I think we have a lot of new Muslims and new freshmen coming in that are eager to get to be a part of the MSA. So I think it sets us up perfectly for those who want to incorporate. Maybe in the coming years, they can get involved with the e-board and they can take on roles and maybe carry this MSA forward in the coming years.
Mm-hmm. And if I'm understanding your question correctly, are you saying like also what we expect to do like for ourselves after we leave, or is that what you're asking?
Well, we didn't get there yet, but that part. But you're talking about more so the transition, passing
within the
the baton.
university.
Yeah, it's just
Oh, right.
Yes.
Well then, yeah, I agree with Ehab. It's mostly just setting it up for the future students who want to come in. And one thing we've been trying to do is students who are interested in being on an e-board position, we've been trying to, teach them how the best way we know to do things, so that when they do come in, they already understand the workings of everything and they can just go ahead and get started with the work.
Excellent. And as you all are just joining us now, we are interviewing Bowie State MSA this week on our highlights here at HBCU MSA Coalition. In their Instagram is Bowie.state MSA. So you can find them on Instagram, Bowie.state MSA, and look at all of their events and all the initiatives that they have running right now, currently on campus. Okay, now the question, as you make mention of, there's an influx, more students are coming to Bowie State. Well, Muslims are coming to Bowie State. I think all of the HBCUs are a lot of them are getting a lot of applicants now more than ever. There's this increase now of applicants at a lot of HBCUs. So presumably there will be a lot of Muslims coming in that batch every year from this point forward. And potential, of course, new Muslims and people who are converting. But let's just say for the Muslims who are there, freshmen, or any upper class who's not part of the MSA, what would you say to them is, why is joining the MSA important?
Well, it's funny because we actually just had this opportunity to talk to those students who were Muslim and who were not in the MSA a few days ago at the org fair. And I think what we basically just told them we explained to them what we stand for, which is a non-judgmental and unfiltered space where we can just be, where we can be students, or we can be Muslim students, or we can, grow ourselves and learn more about Islam together. And we explained to them that that's the space that we try to create. And, you never want to force anyone to do anything. But I think in explaining that, people are kind of just drawn to something like that, because that's a peaceful environment. That's somewhere where you can just grow. So, yeah, I think that's what we explained to them. And people who maybe had questions, we just answered them accordingly. And we told them to just, come to events and see for yourself. And if you like it, then we will be more than happy for you to keep coming back.
there's a lot of students who have maybe some misconceptions about Islam, and we keep this organization very open and educational to where anybody can come in and learn about Islam, because we want to represent Islam in a way that can help it grow instead of blocking us off and only supporting Muslims. We want to expand and support everyone so that people get the correct message of Islam and everyone is accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Solid. That sounds solid. So let's talk some of the events, initiatives, sneak preview. I know everyone's just getting the flow back to campus, getting into the flow of things. Some have done first week of classes, some probably on their second week or whatnot. But what's some of the highlights or some of the things that people can expect to see from Bowie State MSA for this semester, and perhaps going into the spring semester? What's some of the things that you all are planning that you all can give us a little appetizer on?
Well, a couple things that we have in the works. We started halakas last year, so it was just for the sisters, but we're going to start doing them for the brothers as well, and we want to pick those up a little bit. So that's one. And another, we are thinking about starting some kind of like small program where we host a few events that we can talk to and help people who have recently converted to Islam learn more about Islam, and they're not just by themselves. Because alhamdulillah, last year we were able to talk to a lot of students, and a lot of students ended up converting after joining MSA. But you never want to leave them just by themselves after something like that. So we're trying to form something, and we want to do it carefully. We're trying to form something so that they're not left alone in those situations, and we can help them and form relationships with them. I don't know if you want to take Ramadan for like spring semester.
Yeah, sure. Ramadan this year is definitely going to be another big set group of events. Just to add on to what Janan was saying, we want to incorporate everyone into our events. So Ramadan is a time where everyone should feel that they are accepted. And we learned from last year that there's some things that we could have done better during Ramadan, and this year we hope to pick it up and make sure everyone is getting everything that need, such as like suhoor, and just so they're prepared, and even the non-Muslims feel that they're Muslim and they have a community that represents them and that can support them during a time like Ramadan where they may feel like alone or not accepted as much.
Now, how do you all handle, or do you all look forward to possibly partnering or collaborating with other student orgs on campus that could help to get the word out more about Bowie State MSA and just about Al-Islam in general, and utilizing some of the other resources that's on campus, especially the other student orgs? I feel as though a lot of times we kind of stick to ourselves as Muslims, and we tend not to want to branch out a little bit to see if there is some synergy with other student orgs that will be willing to do fun events, engaging events, educational events that don't compromise our values as Muslims. So do you all see those possibilities, or have you all partnered with other student orgs in the past, or is that in the works?
Absolutely. That's actually something I think that we're always just trying to push past, because we want to break that ideology that we can't do things like that. So we have partnered with orgs in the past, but we're trying to do it even more now. And we've been working on some things that may seem a little bit controversial, but I think it's necessary. One of which being we're talking to a couple of other faith-based orgs at the university, so we can have a sit-down talk, and we can all discuss faith and just lives as students who believe in something together and see it from all of our point of views. And we also plan on partnering with our sociology club, because sociology is the study of people, and I think it's necessary to be able to spread that knowledge from individuals who are majoring in that subject. Among other, also campus activities board. We plan on doing a lot of things to get the word out, and we actually partnered with campus activities board last year as well. So yeah, definitely always trying to branch out.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the collaborations last year are what helped us grow maybe so fast. I think without the collaborations, we might not have grown as fast as we did. But to come this far, I think it's right to credit those other organizations that may have had a little more popularity than us, that helped us maybe get our name out there and spread the word to other Muslims that were maybe on campus but didn't know about us.
No, yeah, excellent. I mean, I think that's great. It's superb that you all are exploring those other organizations and finding ways to be creative as an MSA, because I think too another aspect is creativity. We tend to sometimes do perhaps the same events at various MSAs that look quite similar, but I think every campus presents its own unique expression. Like Bowie is not like Howard or like Morgan or like Xavier or Morehouse. Everyone has a very different niche community. It's very different. It's Muslim, but how the MSAs function may be different, and what the programming they may do may be different as well. And I think I saw last year you all collaborate with the other MSAs, including some of the other HBCU MSAs. Do you all plan to continue to do those other relationships with the other MSAs in Maryland and the surrounding area?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that making those bonds and those connections with other MSAs, it's only going to do good for us. I think if you expand the Muslim brotherhood and sisterhood between communities, it only does good, and it creates a good community for everyone to maybe bounce ideas off of each other, and maybe they can do a bigger collaboration event. Or because last year we had an iftar together with some of the surrounding HBCU MSAs, and I think this year maybe we can bump it up. And since we have an idea of what those MSAs are like, we can suggest ideas and we can collaborate with them to maybe perform a bigger event.
Inshallah, yeah.
So I'm going to do not like a shameless plug, but so you guys know that Lincoln and Bowie are the new rivals,
It's
especially
not
in
new.
basketball. Especially in basketball. Okay, not new, but it's the last few years, Lincoln and Bowie has gone in play and in playoffs have been rivals. So I would put forth a buzz to the Lincoln MSA, who hasn't been highlighted here yet, but they will be soon, inshallah. But in Bowie State to connect, especially because I think, the Lincoln and Bowie game, it comes sometimes played at our stadium or vice versa, and a lot of alums tend to come out for just that game alone. Like probably that's the most well attended game out of the whole season on our calendar. Outside of maybe a few others, but I shameless plug to my alma mater. If you all watching and we have Bowie State on the line, to please consider to connect with each other to do something with them during a Lincoln Bowie game, or some try to do some exchange or whatnot. The other thing is, how can alumni? This is the biggest thing that we have asked all of our MSAs. How can the alumni support you all at Bowie State? That's number one, question number one, part one. And then part two to that question is, how can the general Muslim communities support Bowie State? Because you have Muslims who live in the state of Maryland and masjids in the state of Maryland who may not know about the MSAs that exist or know about Bowie State that exist. What kind of support do you all look for from us as alumni and just the general Muslim community?
Well, I will say one, we have actually received a lot of support from other surrounding messages as well as alumni. Alhamdulillah. But I guess moving forward, we would expect like the same thing, just sometimes, financial, of course, because things cannot get done without money. And we put out our GoFundMes and things like that as well. And alhamdulillah, messages and alumni have contributed and have helped them. Those events that we put on for students cannot happen without things like that. So that's always very helpful. And on top of that, just support. Unwavering support is always helpful. Spreading the message, reposting things, sharing it to your friends and other people who may not even know about us, which is what everyone has been doing as well. And we just want to, keep increasing that support as much as we can.
I think to piggyback on the masajid, that is something that's a little bit newer for us, but we have been getting a lot of support from masajid lately, and they said that they'll have us covered and they're ready to support us because they want to see us grow, and they're always ready to support a new Muslim organization. And for alumni, I can't speak for the previous alumni of the previous Muslim student associations, but now for our Muslim Student Association, I know that once we graduate, we will be very active with this MSA, and we will continue to support this MSA because we only want to see this MSA grow and keep on growing when we're out of college and in the near future, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah. And this is very important that we're having these highlights in part and let people know that these spaces actually exist at HBCUs. A lot of times the belief is a monolith in terms of faith-based practice is a monolith at HBCU, meaning predominantly Christian. But as we're seeing, that's not the case. And we have a large influx of Muslims in these HBCUs that are and have formed MSAs like Bowie State, who continue to do great events on campus every year, who continue to get better every year, and they only can get better every year with your help. And this is why we have the Cash App in the comment section and on the screen. Bowie State MSA is the Cash App. I mean, the sister said it. We need some money. I mean, let's not be hesitant to ask for money, brothers and sisters. Let's not be hesitant, especially the MSAs. Don't be hesitant to ask for money. We know that's the hot ticket. It's necessary to get things done, to get things paid for, to get iftar sponsored, et cetera, et cetera. We need finances. These students want to do iftars. There might be some restaurants, there might be some business people that want to sponsor these students during the month of Ramadan and some of their programming. Please consider to do so and reach out to them, because this is how we spread out Islam, and we spread our community's wealth, and we purify our wealth as well. So don't be afraid to give, brothers and sisters, to these students who are actually sacrificing. You heard it first. The education, but then they're also making time to really root this MSA at Bowie State, to really ground it. And that takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. And I'm sure they're involved with perhaps other activities on campus, other things, but this is a priority for them, as you can see. And where the adults come in is that we must help. We must contribute to you all's experience at these HBCUs, and particularly here at Bowie State. So as we come up on the 30 minutes point, we'd like to start wrapping up. So is there any closing remarks that you all would like to leave the audience and those who watch the replay later?
Well, I just want to say thank you guys for watching, if you came to watch us, because it always means a lot for anyone to hear what we have to say regarding the MSA specifically. That's something that's very close to our hearts, I think. Like Ehab said, we're all very passionate about it. So I hope you guys, stay tuned for things that are coming, and you stay updated, following our socials and everything, to see what we're going to do in the future.
Yep. And I wanted to thank you, Imam Bilal, for this opportunity. I think it's great that you're highlighting these HBCU Muslim Student Associations, and it's great that we get a chance to get our voices out there and speak up.
Alhamdulillah. And we'll just remind everyone that please do feel free to support the MSAs here at Bowie State. Again, we'll pull up on the screen for those who did miss it. This is the Cash App, Bowie State MSA. The Instagram is bowie.statemsa for those who are on Instagram. Please get with them, connect with them, show some love, show some support. Share this live stream to your friends, to your family members. Let them know that school is back, college is in session now. The students are having Jummah every Friday, and they need support, And sometimes it comes in little small things: money, showing up, coming to Jummah, because Jummah is open to anybody. Correct? Anybody can come to Jummah on Bowie State's campus. Yeah, anybody can come. So pull up. Make these MSAs actually a form of your masjid or your musalla, where, generally we go to the masjid, but these are also places where prayer, salah, has been established and has been established by the students. So please feel free to stop by and show some support, give salams, put some money in their hands. And alumni, let's get more involved. My final appeal is always for the alumni to get more involved in these spaces. So, that's my challenge always. So if anybody here is a Muslim watching from Bowie State, please connect with us, and to connect with Bowie State, so we can get you all connected, so we can start bringing some more alums, Muslim alums, to Bowie State, so you all can start seeing some of the faces that came before you, so you all can understand that there were people there. There were Muslims at Bowie State before. There were Muslims who have your majors, who are perhaps in your professions now and are successful, that I'm sure that you all would love to see come and speak to you all about, what are they doing now? How do they navigate the professional world? So inshallah, these are some of the things that we will help to continue to support you all as the HBCU MSA Coalition and your programming and your events. We definitely look forward to visiting you all again as well in the coming months. So stay tuned here. We thank everyone for tuning in tonight for another edition. And inshallah, God willing, we'll be back next week with another highlight. But we want to thank Bowie State MSA for being this week's highlight. Sister Janan Mohammed and Brother Ihab Ashkar for coming on. And we hope that you all got something out of this conversation tonight. And inshallah, have a great rest of your Friday evening and your great rest of the weekend. And we will see you all soon. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
Assalamu
alaikum.
Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999, legacy, legacy, MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, brothers and sisters, let's celebrate. Legacy, legacy, Muslim Journal, 60 years today. Legacy, legacy, our history, our perspective, our way. Legacy, legacy, Islam is our path, success away. Legacy, legacy, visit MuslimJournal.net online. Legacy, legacy, text sponsor the 999. Legacy, legacy, 999, legacy, legacy, MuslimJournal.net online.
Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. They say the first cutter be the one that sets the tone, to add pressure to a lesser known flesh and bone, to look different than the picture shown, and to be a rebel means you're not about to settle till you get your own. This one's for all my outside of the box thinkers, with bumblebee stingers and paper cut fingers and scrapes on their kneecaps. I know the pain lingers. The healthy way to heal a broken wing is to give it love. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown to you. Sending love in every shade of brown, shade of brown. Yeah, the thing about community is how proud it is. We understand what well balanced and what grounded is. And love is the hinge that heals and mends, conceals and blends, and keeps us all covered. That's groundage is. We say it's all black when it's all love, and it's brown when it's all good. Groundages, we help heal the hurt. So put us on. I said you gotta put us on.